Welcome to Sleep Lore. This is where curiosity finds comfort, science takes a gentle path, and sometimes the grandest questions of human existence turn into the coziest stories to lull you to sleep. Tonight, as the world outside quiets and shadows lengthen, we're embarking on a journey not into the stars or the depths of the ocean, but into a concept as fundamental as breath itself, yet as elusive as a whisper on the wind. We're going to gently open the door to ponder. Freedom. What is it really? Does it mean simply being able to do what we want, or is it something far deeper, more intricate, and perhaps even more demanding? This question, what is freedom, might at first sound like something we all intuitively know. We speak of it, we fight for it, we dream of it. Yet, when we try to grasp it, it often slips through our fingers, changing its shape depending on who is holding it. Has it always meant the same thing to people across history and cultures? Is it simply the absence of chains or the presence of choices? Or is there a quiet inner dimension to freedom that we often overlook in our busy lives? This question has echoed through philosophical thoughts for ages, resonated in grand declarations, shaped societies, and surprisingly, even finds intriguing hints at the edges of our understanding of the human mind. Before we gently delve deeper into these profound thoughts, I'd love to know, where in the world are you listening from tonight? And what does freedom truly mean to you, in your own quiet corner of the world right now? Does it feel like a right, a responsibility, or perhaps a dream yet to be fully realized? It's rather fitting, isn't it? A conversation about a concept so universal, yet so personal. And here we are together, connected by a question that is as ancient as human yearning and as intimate as our own deepest desires. If you find this journey soothing, perhaps intriguing enough to gently stir your curiosity before sleep, or simply a nice way to unwind after a long day, I'd be ever so grateful if you gave this video a like. And if you wish to continue exploring the wonders of human experience and the world in this calm, unhurried way, please consider subscribing and sharing this peaceful space with someone else who might also need a quiet pause. Now, I truly hope this topic isn't so fascinating that it keeps you wide awake. But if it does, well, at least you'll have pondered one of humanity's grandest ideals before you finally drift off. So, settle in, take a deep breath, slow your thoughts, and let's begin this exploration. Because somewhere between the absence of constraint and the presence of choice, between the dreams we chase and the responsibilities we embrace, lies the extraordinary question of what it truly means to be free. Let's begin our soft journey by gently exploring the most basic and perhaps most immediately understood aspect of freedom. Freedom from. This is the kind of freedom that comes from removing external obstacles, from breaking free from chains, literal or metaphorical. It's about a quiet, deep sense of relief when a burden is lifted, when a barrier is removed, allowing us to simply be without constant pressure or threat. Imagine for a moment, if you will, a bird that has been kept for a long, long time in a cage. Its tiny heart aches to feel the vast sky. Its wings long to stretch and soar through the open air. Its very instincts call it to the boundless expanse beyond the confining bars. Freedom, for this little bird, is a simple, profound idea. It is simply the absence of the cage, the gentle unlatching of the door that once held it captive. This is a powerful, visceral kind of freedom, the pure release from being held against its will, from being forced into a space that is not its natural home. Throughout the long, winding tapestry of human history, countless struggles have been fought, countless voices have been raised, and countless sacrifices have been made for this very basic fundamental freedom. The freedom from oppression, from the harsh grip of slavery, from the heavy hand of tyranny, from the binding force of unjust laws, and from the quiet fear of arbitrary power. Consider for a moment the vast human movements for liberation that have spanned the ages, from ancient times to our modern day. People, in every corner of the world, have yearned with all their hearts to be free from the rule of dictators who silence their voices, from the crushing burden of excessive and unfair taxes that took away their livelihood, from the constant, chilling fear of persecution for simply holding beliefs that were different or for speaking truths that needed to be heard. This kind of freedom is deeply rooted in the concept of protection. It's about establishing clear, firm boundaries so that individuals and entire communities can exist without the constant weight of threat or forced action. It's about having the essential space to simply be, to live and breathe without someone else dictating every single step, every thought, every aspiration. This basic yet profound liberty is often carefully enshrined in the most fundamental human rights documents across the globe. The freedom from being arrested without a good reason, the freedom from cruel and inhumane treatment, the freedom from having your thoughts and words controlled by others. These are the quiet, foundational protections that allow a person to breathe deeply, to move freely, and to live their life without the constant, nagging fear that someone else holds all the power over their existence. This freedom from also gently extends into the fabric of our everyday lives, often in ways we might not even consciously realize or appreciate in our busy routines. We experience a quiet sense of freedom from the gnawing pangs of hunger and the parching thirst when we are fortunate enough to have enough wholesome food and clean, refreshing water readily available. We cherish the freedom from constant fear for our personal safety when our homes and communities are peaceful, allowing us to sleep soundly at night. We feel the precious freedom from having to endlessly toil just to survive when we have enough time for the quiet joys of rest, for pursuing our passions, and for simply enjoying the leisure of life. These are not merely luxuries. These are the fundamental conditions that allow us to live with dignity, to thrive, and to experience a basic sense of security and well-being. They form the unseen bedrock upon which other, more complex forms of freedom can then gently bloom. However, this type of freedom, while absolutely essential and often incredibly hard-won, is frequently viewed as just the initial step, the beginning of a much larger and more intricate journey. Breaking free from visible chains, whether they are physical restraints or oppressive laws, is a necessary first step towards liberation. But it doesn't automatically, instantly, mean that we intuitively know where to go next, or what exactly to do with our newfound liberty. The bird, finally freed from its cage, might at first hesitate, its eyes wide with wonder, perhaps even a touch of trepidation, unsure of how to navigate the immense, boundless sky that now stretches before it. This kind of freedom, in its purest, most basic form, focuses predominantly on the negation of something undesirable. It defines itself primarily by what it isn't, not imprisoned, not coerced, not starving. It serves as a foundational layer, a clean, blank canvas, providing the space for potential. But it doesn't, by itself, gently whisper what magnificent picture we should paint upon it, what melodies we should compose, or what grand adventures we should embark upon. And sometimes, the most profound realization arises even when we believe we have achieved complete freedom from external constraints. We might unexpectedly find ourselves still bound by invisible chains, the quiet, insidious whispers of our own self-doubt, the lingering grip of old fears, the heavy burden of past regrets that we cling to, or the constant, anxious worries about an uncertain future. These inner prisons, though unseen and unheard by others, can often be far more restrictive, far more limiting than any physical cage or iron bars. They can keep us from truly soaring, from embracing the boundless possibilities that lie before us. So while freedom from is incredibly vital and often earned through immense struggle and sacrifice, it is perhaps just the very first chapter in the much larger, more complex, and deeply personal story of what it truly means to be free. It grants us the precious gift of space, of room to breathe, but it doesn't, by itself, gently guide us towards a clear direction or a profound sense of purpose. It sets the stage, but the true play has yet to unfold. Once we have gently established our freedom from external constraints, once those visible or invisible chains have been loosened, the question naturally, softly shifts within us. What can we now do? This brings us to the second profound and wonderfully expansive dimension of liberty, freedom to. This is the kind of freedom that gently blooms from having options, from possessing the inherent power to make our own choices, and from the presence of true opportunities to act upon those choices. It's about stepping onto an open field and sensing the myriad paths that stretch out before us, each inviting us to explore, to create, and to become. Imagine that bird once more, the one now released from its cage. Its initial burst of joy, the sheer delight of simply being free from confinement, is quickly followed by an expansive, exhilarating awareness of its freedom to. It now has the boundless sky, the freedom to soar on the currents of the wind, to search for its own food among the rustling leaves, to carefully build its own nest high in the branches, to sing its own unique song, a melody born of its very being, unburdened by forced silence. This is an active, empowering kind of freedom, where the world itself unfolds with possibilities, beckoning us to step forward and engage. In human terms, this translates to a profound landscape of fundamental rights and rich opportunities. It's the essential freedom to speak your mind, to express your deepest thoughts and feelings without the chilling fear of punishment or censorship. It's the freedom to choose your own path in life, to decide what career to pursue, what passions to follow, what kind of person you aspire to be. It's the freedom to seek and pursue an education, to learn and grow, to expand your intellect and understanding. It's the sacred freedom to worship as you please, or not to worship at all, according to the quiet dictates of your own conscience. And perhaps most fundamentally, it's the quiet freedom to simply think your own thoughts, to explore ideas within the sanctuary of your own mind, unmolested and unjudged. These are the precious opportunities that truly allow individuals to express their unique selves, to develop their inherent talents, and to gently shape their own destinies in a way that resonates with their true nature. Societies that truly value this freedom to often strive with great care to create broad conditions where every person has a fair and genuine chance to thrive, not merely to survive. This includes ensuring equitable access to good education, to necessary healthcare, and to fair economic opportunities, all working together to ensure that freedom isn't just a beautiful word written on a page, but a real, lived possibility for flourishing and self-actualization for everyone. Consider for a moment the subtle yet crucial difference between a person who is physically free from imprisonment but finds themselves without any means to support themselves, no access to learning, and no voice or influence in their community. While technically free from physical chains, their freedom to pursue a meaningful life, to grow, to contribute, is severely and profoundly limited. True liberty, for many thoughtful minds, encompasses both these vital aspects. It is not just the removal of barriers that hold us back, but also the vibrant, active presence of clear pathways, the tangible ability to meaningfully choose from a range of desirable options that truly reflect our aspirations. It's about having the inner and outer power to say a resounding yes to life's expansive possibilities, to step into the world with agency and purpose. This freedom, too, is often seen as a cornerstone of human progress and innovation, a gentle engine driving positive change. When people are truly free to experiment with new ideas, to create without fear of repression, to share their thoughts openly, and to collaborate on new ventures, then new discoveries, groundbreaking advancements, and profound insights often naturally follow. It nurtures a rich diversity of thought and expression, enriching the vast and intricate tapestry of human experience, making our collective journey more vibrant and complex. It gently encourages individuals to take thoughtful initiative, to bravely pursue their deepest passions, and to contribute their unique gifts and perspectives to the world, knowing that their efforts can indeed make a difference. However, this profound aspect of freedom also brings with it its own quiet, often subtle, challenges. With the immense power to choose comes the inherent responsibility for those choices. Unlimited options, while seemingly wonderful, can sometimes paradoxically lead to a quiet sense of overwhelm, or even a form of paralysis. When faced with too many paths, we might find ourselves hesitating, unsure which way to turn, perhaps fearful of making the wrong decision. And in the intricate dance of human interaction, the choices of one person can at times gently brush against or even significantly affect the freedom of others. So while freedom too is about unlocking our personal potential and expanding our horizons, it requires a delicate and ongoing balance and a thoughtful consideration of its broader implications for the collective fabric of humanity. It's a continuous journey into the vast, open landscape of possibilities, where every single step we take is an active, conscious, and impactful choice, shaping not only our own story, but also the world around us. As we gently explore the expansive terrain of freedom too, that wonderful ability to choose and act, we inevitably encounter its inseparable companion, the weight of choice, and with it, the quiet, ever-present presence of responsibility and consequence. True freedom, we begin to realize, isn't merely having endless options stretched out before us. It's about a deep understanding and a willing embrace of the countless ripples each choice sends through our individual lives and the vast, interconnected world around us. It's in this profound understanding that freedom truly finds its depth and its most meaningful expression. Imagine yourself, for a moment, standing peacefully at a significant crossroads in your life. The path ahead opens wide, offering not just one, but many different directions, each beckoning with its own unique promise and its own quiet mystery. This is the beautiful essence of your freedom to choose. Perhaps one path leads to a new career, another to a new relationship, yet another to a journey of self-discovery or a quiet life of contemplation. But as you consider each path, you also sense that each one leads somewhere distinctly different, revealing its own unique landscapes, its own unexpected challenges, and its own ultimate destinations. The power to choose which path to take is entirely yours, a precious gift of liberty. But so too are the inevitable consequences, the natural outcomes of that profound choice. This is precisely where the true depth and the rich complexity of freedom begin to subtly reveal themselves, inviting us to look beyond the immediate thrill of choice. With the wonderful power to decide comes an inherent quiet responsibility for those decisions. When we choose to speak, to offer our thoughts and feelings to the world, we become responsible for our words, for the message they carry, and for the subtle or profound impact they might have on the hearts and minds of others. When we choose to take an action, big or small, we are then responsible for its effects, for the changes it brings about in the world. This isn't about feeling guilty or burdened by blame. Rather, it's about a gentle yet firm acknowledgement of our own agency, our active and powerful role in shaping the reality that unfolds around us. A truly free person doesn't simply act on impulse or fleeting whim. They pause, they reflect deeply, they consider the potential outcomes with care, and crucially, they willingly accept the eventual results of their liberty, understanding that their choices have weight and meaning. This is a mature freedom, one that comprehends that genuine self-direction, a life truly lived on our own terms, is beautifully built upon a foundation of accountability and mindful awareness. This sense of responsibility gracefully extends beyond the boundaries of our personal lives and weaves itself intricately into the fabric of our communities and the larger society. My cherished freedom to pursue my deepest dreams and aspirations might, at times, gently brush against, or even significantly interact with, your equally precious freedom to live a peaceful life, undisturbed and unburdened. A truly free society, therefore, isn't merely one where everyone can simply do whatever they please without restraint. It is, more profoundly, one where individuals thoughtfully and empathetically balance their own hard-won liberties with the fundamental rights and essential needs of all others. This delicate balance requires a constant dance of empathy, a genuine willingness to listen deeply to the perspectives and experiences of others, and a steadfast commitment to uphold shared values and principles that benefit the collective whole. It's in this intricate and beautiful interplay between individual desire and collective well-being that the complex, vibrant beauty of a truly free and flourishing society quietly emerges, like a delicate flower opening to the sun. Consider also the vast tapestry of consequences, both those immediately seen and those subtle, far-reaching ones that remain unseen for a time. Every single choice we make, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has an effect. Sometimes these effects are immediate and wonderfully clear, like the result of choosing to study hard for an exam. Other times, they are subtle, ripple outwards, and become apparent only much later, perhaps years down the line, gently shaping our future in unexpected ways. The decision to diligently learn a new skill today might quietly open countless unforeseen doors of opportunity for us years from now. The choice to act unkindly, even in a fleeting moment of frustration, might unintentionally create a lasting rift, a quiet separation, in a relationship that we once cherished. Understanding this intricate web of cause and effect This dance of action and reaction helps us to make more mindful and thoughtful choices. It allows us to realize, with a quiet sense of awe, that our freedom is an incredibly powerful force, a force capable of both building up and creating, or, if wielded carelessly, of breaking down and causing quiet harm. This deep awareness can serve as a gentle yet persistent guide, quietly nudging us towards actions that truly align with our deepest, most cherished values and contribute positively, not only to our own well-being, but also to the greater good of the world around us. Sometimes, the very weight of choice, the sheer breadth of possibilities, can feel incredibly heavy, almost overwhelming. The seemingly endless number of options can sometimes lead to what some thinkers call the paradox of choice, a curious phenomenon where having too many options can paradoxically make us feel less free rather than more. We might become paralyzed by the fear of choosing incorrectly, or by the sheer mental effort required to weigh every possibility. And the quiet fear of making the wrong choice, of missing out on a better path, can sometimes paralyze us completely, keeping us from taking any action at all, leaving us stuck in a state of indecision. In these quiet, challenging moments, true freedom might involve finding the courage to choose, to make a decision even with a gentle sense of uncertainty, and to wholeheartedly embrace the lessons that gently unfold with every single outcome. Recognizing that growth often comes from embracing these moments of choice. So, freedom, in its fullest and most profound sense, isn't just about having an open road stretching endlessly before us. It's about truly owning the journey itself, understanding the intricacies of the map, and gracefully accepting the deep responsibility for the path we lovingly choose to take. It's about recognizing with a quiet sense of wonder that our personal liberty is deeply and beautifully intertwined with the very fabric of existence, and that every single act of freedom carries its own unique set of ripples, stretching out into the vast, boundless sea of consequences, shaping not only our own individual destinies, but also contributing to the larger, interconnected story of the world. This profound and intricate dance between choice and responsibility is where freedom truly transforms from a mere abstract concept into a lived, breathing, vibrant reality, continually shaping who we are in this very moment and who we are gently becoming with each passing day. As we delve deeper into the intricate layers of freedom, moving past the external boundaries and the weighty choices, we begin to realize that its true essence might not reside primarily in the world outside us, but in a far more profound and resilient place, within ourselves. This brings us to freedom of mind and spirit, an inner fortress that, once patiently built and carefully nurtured, can remain unyielding and unshaken, even when the external liberties around us are challenged, or when life's storms rage. It is a quiet, powerful sanctuary that truly belongs to us. Imagine for a moment a person who finds themselves confined by physical walls, perhaps in a small room, or living under the oppressive shadow of a system that seeks to control every aspect of their outward life. While their freedom from external movement might be cruelly taken away, and their freedom to act in the world might be severely limited, their inner world, their profound thoughts, their most cherished beliefs, their indomitable spirit can, remarkably, remain untouched. This is the quiet yet profound truth that countless historical figures, enduring heroes, and wise spiritual masters have so eloquently demonstrated throughout time. They found a deep, abiding liberation, not by miraculously changing their external circumstances, which were often beyond their control, but by transforming their very inner landscape, by cultivating an unwavering peace within. This ability to be free, even when outwardly bound, is one of the most astonishing powers of the human spirit. This inner freedom is deeply about having the intrinsic power to choose your own attitude, to shape your own perspective, and to direct your own response to life's inevitable challenges, regardless of what bitter winds might blow around you. It's the precious freedom to decide what you truly believe in, what values you hold dearest in your heart, and what kind of person you consciously choose to be. Even in the face of immense pressure, great suffering, or overwhelming despair. Viktor Frankl, a wise psychiatrist and a survivor of the horrific concentration camps during World War II, eloquently wrote from his own searing experience that everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. This profound statement stands as a timeless testament to the unyielding, unbreakable nature of the human spirit when it finds its inner anchor, when it roots itself in a deep, personal sense of purpose and resilience that no external force can truly extinguish. It reminds us that true freedom begins within, in the choices we make for our own hearts and minds. Freedom of mind also beautifully encompasses freedom from our own inner chains. Sometimes, in a curious paradox, we ourselves become our own greatest captors. We might find ourselves subtly bound by limiting beliefs we unknowingly hold about ourselves. Ideas that whisper we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. We might be held captive by the cold grip of old fears that linger from past experiences, by the heavy burden of past regrets that we refuse to let go of, or by constant nagging worries about an uncertain, distant future. These inner prisons, though entirely invisible to the outside world, can often be far more restrictive, far more debilitating than any physical cage or concrete walls. Achieving this profound inner freedom means gently recognizing these subtle patterns of self-limitation, patiently understanding their hidden roots, and then consciously, bravely choosing to release ourselves from their subtle yet powerful grip. It's a continuous journey of deep self-discovery, of gently letting go of what no longer truly serves our growth, and of cultivating a quiet, unwavering inner peace that is not dependent on the ever-changing and unpredictable external conditions of life. This inner liberty, this boundless expanse within, also truly encompasses freedom of thought and consciousness. It's the expansive freedom to explore new ideas without judgment, to gently question long-held assumptions without fear, to continuously expand our understanding of the world around us, and to connect deeply with our own most profound inner wisdom, that quiet voice of intuition that guides us. It's the liberating freedom to meditate, to allow our minds to settle and find stillness, to dream without limits, to imagine possibilities far beyond our immediate reality, to envision worlds and futures that do not yet exist. This inner space, this sanctuary of the mind, is sacred, a truly private haven where the human spirit can soar gracefully, unburdened by the constant demands, the harsh judgments, and the overwhelming noise of the outer world. It's within this precious inner realm that our true creativity, our deepest and most profound insights, and our most authentic sense of purpose can truly flourish and shine brightest, like a hidden spring nourishing a vibrant garden. Cultivating this inner fortress, this sanctuary of self, requires consistent, gentle practice and unwavering patience. It involves embracing practices like mindfulness, which teaches us to simply observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise without being consumed or carried away by them. It demands a commitment to deep self-awareness, learning to truly understand the subtle workings of our own minds and hearts. And it calls for a lifelong dedication to personal growth, always seeking to learn, to evolve, to become a more compassionate and understanding being. It's a journey of quiet strength, where we gradually learn that true power lies not in attempting to control the unpredictable outer world, but in mastering our own internal responses to it, in choosing our internal landscape, no matter what storms may rage externally. So who are you in this vast universe? You are a being capable of cultivating an inner freedom, building a sanctuary of mind and spirit that truly transcends all external circumstances. You are, in essence, the very architect of your own inner landscape, capable of choosing your own attitude, your deepest beliefs, and your response to every challenge and joy that life presents. This profound inner liberty is perhaps the most resilient, the most enduring, and ultimately the most meaningful form of freedom that any being can possess, allowing you to remain truly free, truly yourself, even when all else around you seems to be bound or crumbling. It's a quiet yet powerful testament to the enduring, unyielding strength and boundless potential of the human spirit. A testament to the quiet truth that the deepest freedom lies within. As we gently traverse the many dimensions of freedom, having explored its outer boundaries and its inner sanctuaries, we now encounter a fascinating aspect, almost a quiet riddle that invites deeper contemplation: the paradox of freedom. How can we truly be free when we are in every moment inevitably bound by so many constraints, The unchanging laws of physics that govern our physical world, the inherent needs of our own bodies that demand attention, the subtle and overt demands of society that shape our interactions, and even, most mysteriously, our own deepest desires and impulses. Does true liberty, then, truly mean breaking all bonds, severing every connection? Or, in a more profound and subtle way, does it mean finding a different, perhaps richer kind of freedom within these very constraints? This is a question that challenges our intuitive notions and invites us to look at freedom with new eyes. Consider for a moment the fundamental, unyielding constraints of existence itself. We are, undeniably, bound by the universal laws of physics. Gravity, that invisible force, relentlessly keeps our feet on the ground, preventing us from simply floating off into the sky at will. Time, that ceaseless river, flows relentlessly forward, carrying us from moment to moment, and we cannot simply wish it to stop or reverse its course. Our bodies, these wonderful vessels that carry us through life, have inherent needs. We must breathe the air. We must seek sustenance from food. We must find rest in sleep. These are not chains in the oppressive, painful sense of being held captive. Rather, they are fundamental, undeniable realities of our very being, woven into the fabric of our existence. So, if we cannot defy gravity, or stop the flow of time, or live without food and water, can we ever truly consider ourselves free in an absolute sense? This initial reflection suggests a limit to our most basic understanding of unbridled liberty. Perhaps the profound answer to this paradox lies not in defying these fundamental limits, but in refining our very definition of freedom. True freedom, then, might not be the complete, absolute absence of all constraints, but rather the ability to choose our response to those constraints, to consciously decide how we will engage with the given realities of our existence. Or, even more subtly, it could be the profound freedom to choose which constraints we willingly embrace, recognizing that some boundaries, freely chosen, can actually unlock deeper forms of liberation. Think, for instance, of a skilled musician. They might feel immense, boundless freedom when improvising a beautiful melody, allowing their creativity to soar. But that very freedom, that spontaneous expression, does not come from a total disregard for rules. Instead, it blossoms from years of dedicated, disciplined practice, from choosing to be constrained by the intricate rules of music theory, by the precise mechanics of their instrument, and by the rhythms and harmonies that govern sound. The constraints, in this beautiful example, become the very foundation, the fertile ground, for their most profound creative expression, and their most deeply felt liberty. Without the chosen structure, the improvisation might simply dissolve into noise. With it, it becomes a masterpiece. Similarly, in our most cherished relationships, we often choose to bind ourselves through acts of love, unwavering commitment, and mutual responsibility. This act of consciously choosing to be bound to another person, to a beloved family, or to a vibrant community, paradoxically brings a deeper, far more meaningful kind of freedom. It is the profound freedom that comes from belonging, from sharing a common purpose, from experiencing unconditional love and acceptance. Without these chosen bonds, these willing commitments, we might indeed be free from the demands of commitment, free from the occasional challenges that relationships bring. But in that same breath, we might also find ourselves free from the deepest joys of connection, the profound satisfaction of shared experiences, and the rich tapestry of human companionship that gives life so much meaning. This gently suggests that some constraints, when freely and lovingly chosen, are not limitations at all, but rather serve as open pathways to richer, more expansive, and infinitely more fulfilling forms of living. This profound insight naturally leads us to the idea of freedom through discipline. Many ancient spiritual and philosophical traditions across diverse cultures have consistently taught that true liberation, the deepest freedom of the spirit, does not arise from uncontrolled indulgence or a chaotic pursuit of every fleeting desire. Instead, it gently emerges from consistent self-mastery, from a patient cultivation of our inner world. By consciously choosing to discipline our minds, to gently tame our unruly desires, to thoughtfully cultivate virtues like patience, compassion, and wisdom, we slowly but surely free ourselves from the tyranny of impulsive urges and the hollow pursuit of fleeting pleasures. This kind of freedom is often harder won, requiring consistent effort, quiet reflection, and unwavering dedication. but it invariably leads to a profound, unshakable inner peace and a deeper, more authentic ability to align our actions with our deepest, most cherished values. It's the quiet freedom of a skilled sculptor who, by patiently accepting the inherent constraints and limitations of the stone, by meticulously chiseling away the unnecessary, slowly but surely reveals the magnificent masterpiece hidden within its raw form. The constraint of the material becomes the canvas for ultimate expression. So, the paradox of freedom gently whispers to us that boundless liberty, understood as the complete and absolute absence of any and all limits, might actually be a form of deep chaos. Such utter lack of boundaries could leave us feeling directionless, lost, and ultimately unfulfilled, adrift in a sea of endless possibilities without a compass. True freedom, then, might exist in the delicate, beautiful balance between accepting certain fundamental constraints and exercising our intelligent choice within those frameworks. It's the profound freedom found in thoughtfully choosing our responsibilities, in gracefully embracing the natural laws of the universe, in willingly committing to the values and relationships that nourish our spirit. And then, within those wisely chosen boundaries, discovering limitless possibilities for creative expression, for genuine growth, and for finding deep, abiding meaning. It is a dance, a conversation between what limits us and what liberates us, constantly shifting and evolving. Who are you in this vast universe? You are a being capable of understanding and beautifully navigating the paradox of freedom. You are able to find profound liberty, not just in the easy absence of limits, but more deeply in the intelligent, conscious choice of what to embrace, what to commit to, and how to respond gracefully to what simply is. You are a unique expression of existence, finding deep meaning and profound beauty within the eternal dance of choice and constraint, forging your own unique kind of freedom with every gentle, intentional step you take, a testament to the incredible wisdom that can be found in embracing life's beautiful complexities. As we continue our gentle contemplation of freedom, moving from the personal depths of inner liberty, we must now widen our lens to consider how this precious concept extends far beyond the individual and weaves itself intricately into the very fabric of society. True freedom, for many thoughtful minds and compassionate hearts, is deeply and beautifully intertwined with the principles of justice and shared liberation. It's a profound realization that we, as individuals, cannot truly be free in the fullest sense if others around us remain bound by unseen chains, by systemic barriers, or by the weight of injustice. Our liberty, it turns out, is a shared treasure, not a solitary possession. Think for a moment about a single person who seems to possess great personal freedom. Perhaps they have intellectual freedom, the ability to think and express their ideas openly. They might have the freedom to choose their own life path, to pursue their dreams without external interference. But now, imagine that this person lives in a society where basic rights are systematically denied to many others, where injustice is rampant and visible, or where deep-seated barriers prevent vast segments of the population from ever truly flourishing. Can that individual's own freedom truly be complete, truly shine in its full glory, when surrounded by such widespread unfreedom? Many thinkers across history, from ancient philosophers to modern humanitarians, have argued with quiet conviction that our individual liberty is inevitably, fundamentally, and beautifully tied to the liberty of others. If one part of the immense interconnected web of humanity is suffering, if one thread in the grand tapestry is frayed and torn, it ultimately affects the whole, diminishing the collective brightness of freedom for everyone. This profound understanding naturally leads us to the crucial concept of social justice as a powerful pathway to shared freedom. It's not just about what I can do, but about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their background, their skin color, their gender, their beliefs, or their economic status, has a genuine opportunity to experience both freedom from oppression and freedom to pursue their full potential. This involves actively, thoughtfully working to remove deep-seated systemic barriers that have historically held certain groups back, addressing inequalities that perpetuate suffering, and patiently creating conditions where dignity, opportunity, and the possibility for genuine flourishing are truly available to all. It's about building a society where the inherent worth and unique potential of every single individual is recognized, respected, and nurtured, allowing their unique freedoms to blossom beautifully, like wildflowers after a long winter. This is a quiet, continuous act of co creation, a shared endeavor to make the promise of liberty a living reality for every soul. Consider then the vital role of empathy and compassion in this grand societal pursuit. A truly free and just society is not and cannot be built upon cold indifference or a lack of understanding. Instead, it requires a profound willingness to genuinely understand the struggles of others, to feel their burdens as if they were our own, and to act with deep kindness and purposeful solidarity. When we advocate for the freedom of those less fortunate, when we lend our voices to the silenced, when we work to dismantle systems that cause suffering, we are not in any way diminishing our own personal freedom. Quite the contrary. We are, in fact, expanding the very concept of liberty itself, making it richer, deeper, and more robust for everyone. This shared pursuit of freedom becomes a collective act of creation, a communal weaving of a more vibrant and equitable world where more people can experience the fullness and joy of life. It's a gentle reminder that our own liberation is intertwined with the liberation of all. This commitment to collective freedom also gently reminds us that freedom is not absolute or boundless in a social context. My cherished freedom to swing my arm with joy and abandon inherently ends precisely where your nose gracefully begins. In a truly free and functional society, we all, as individuals and as a collective, quietly agree to certain rules, certain laws, and certain shared understandings. We do this not to diminish freedom, but paradoxically to protect it, to safeguard its delicate balance, and to ensure its longevity for all members. These shared agreements, these social contracts, ensure that the exercise of one person's liberty does not infringe upon the basic, fundamental liberties of another. It's a delicate, ongoing balance, constantly requiring thoughtful dialogue, a willingness to compromise, and a deep commitment to shared principles that uphold the dignity and rights of every person. This collective wisdom, patiently developed over generations, helps to define the healthy boundaries within which individual freedoms can truly thrive, flourish, and coexist harmoniously, creating a symphony of liberties rather than a cacophony of conflicting desires. The journey towards shared liberation is an immense and ongoing one, often filled with quiet challenges, unexpected obstacles, and sometimes disheartening setbacks. It requires continuous effort, a willingness to bravely stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult, and a steadfast commitment to open dialogue, deep understanding, and patient bridge building across differences. It's a profound recognition that the tapestry of human freedom is only truly magnificent, only truly resplendent, when every single thread, every unique individual, every diverse voice is allowed to shine brightly, to contribute its unique color and texture, creating a whole that is far greater and more beautiful than the sum of its parts. This is the quiet, continuous work of building a truly free society, one brick of justice, one act of compassion, one shared understanding at a time. So, who are you in this vast universe? You are a being whose profound freedom is intimately intertwined with the freedom of every other human soul, and indeed, with all living beings. You are called to participate actively, thoughtfully, and compassionately in the grand human project of building a more just, more equitable, and more genuinely free world, where the radiant promise of liberty can gracefully extend to every corner of human existence. Your individual acts of compassion, your quiet voice raised for justice, your steadfast commitment to a shared, thriving future, all of these are vital, indispensable contributions to the ongoing expansion of true freedom for all, shaping the very nature of what it means to be fully alive and truly free together. As our long night of reflection on freedom gently draws towards its quiet dawn, having explored its outer boundaries, its weighty responsibilities, and its shared societal dimensions, we arrive at what some consider the ultimate and most profound dimension of freedom. The freedom of transcendence, the deep liberation found in discovering intrinsic meaning, and the boundless, ever-expanding inner landscape of the human spirit. This is a form of freedom that quietly transcends even the physical constraints of our bodies and the social structures of our world, connecting us to something timeless, universal, and profoundly real. It is a liberation that, once touched, can transform our entire way of being. This final freedom is not about escaping reality, not about turning away from the world's challenges. Rather, it is about transcending our limited perspective, about gently rising above the immediate circumstances, the nagging worries, and the insistent demands of our everyday ego, to connect with a larger, deeper truth that lies beneath the surface of appearances. This profound shift can happen in moments of deep contemplation, in the stillness of meditation, during quiet prayer, or even in unexpected flashes of insight amidst intense beauty and awe, perhaps while gazing at a starlit sky or listening to a piece of music that moves you deeply. In such transcendent moments, the usual, familiar boundaries of self and other, of time and space, can gently dissolve, revealing a sense of profound unity, interconnectedness, and a liberating boundlessness that is truly overwhelming yet deeply peaceful. It's the unparalleled freedom of seeing the bigger picture, of understanding with a quiet certainty that our small, individual lives are not isolated incidents, but an intricate, beautiful, and vital part of an immense, continuous cosmic dance. This transcendent freedom is also intimately connected to finding meaning that stretches far beyond fleeting material possessions or temporary achievements. It's the profound freedom to define your own unique purpose, not as something externally imposed, but as a deep, resonant calling from within. It's the liberty to align your life's choices and actions with values that echo deeply within your spirit, and to live in a way that feels authentic, fulfilling, and true to your deepest self. For some, this profound meaning emerges from a dedicated spiritual path, a personal connection to a divine presence, or a deep sense of universal love and interconnectedness. For others, it blooms from a passionate appreciation of the natural world, a lifelong commitment to artistic creation, a selfless dedication to serving humanity, or a tireless pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. Regardless of its specific source, this inner sense of purpose profoundly liberates us from the hollow, often exhausting pursuit of external validation or the accumulation of transient things. It allows us to find a deep, abiding contentment within ourselves, a quiet joy that stems from living a life aligned with our truest essence. Consider, then, the profound freedom of letting go. So often, in our busy lives, we find ourselves subtly bound by invisible chains, by the heavy burden of past regrets that we cling to, by future anxieties that constantly whisper worries in our ears, or by our fierce attachments to specific outcomes that may never materialize. True inner liberation often involves patiently learning to release these self-imposed chains, to loosen their grip, and to live more fully, more vibrantly, in the present moment, embracing its fullness. It's about cultivating a quiet acceptance of what is, even when it's difficult, without judgment or resistance. It's the profound freedom that comes from surrender, not giving up on life's challenges, but surrendering to the natural, unfolding flow of life itself, trusting in the inherent wisdom of existence. This quiet acceptance allows for a profound lightness of being, a sense of peace that gently permeates every single moment, allowing us to move through life with grace and resilience, unburdened by what we cannot change. This deepest freedom is, at its heart, an inner journey, a continuous, lifelong process of profound self-discovery and spiritual growth. It's about gently shedding layers of societal conditioning, of ingrained fears, and of subtle illusions, one by one, to reveal the authentic, luminous core of who we truly are beneath it all. It's a profound liberation from the often tyrannical demands of the ego, allowing our true self, perhaps our very soul, to shine through with uninhibited brilliance. This kind of freedom is not something that is granted by any external authority, by any government, or by any person. It is instead something that is discovered, patiently cultivated, and lovingly nurtured from deep within our own being. It is a testament to our inherent capacity for self-realization and inner peace. So, who are you in this vast universe? You are a being capable of seeking and experiencing the ultimate freedom, the profound freedom of transcendence. You are able to find deep, resonant meaning that extends far beyond the material world, to embrace the subtle, beautiful unity of all things, and to cultivate an inner peace that remains unshaken and resilient, regardless of the turbulent currents of the external world. Your personal journey towards this deepest, most profound liberty is a quiet yet powerful testament to the boundless, extraordinary potential of the human spirit, a gentle echo of the universe's own inherent quest for ultimate truth, meaning, and harmony. You are a unique and precious expression of this cosmic search, living out your own journey towards freedom in every quiet breath. As our long night of reflection gently draws to its very close, having pondered freedom in its many profound and intricate forms, from the simple absence of chains to the vastness of the inner spirit, we arrive at a quiet moment of gentle integration. Freedom, we now understand, is not a simple fixed destination to be reached and then possessed. Rather, it is a continuous unfolding journey, a delicate and ever-evolving dance between our inner and outer worlds, between our individual choices and the well-being of the collective. It is a concept that subtly reshapes itself with every new understanding. We began our journey by humbly feeling ourselves as mere specks in the immense cosmic canvas, yet we soon discovered the astonishing miracle of our own consciousness, that unique inner world capable of contemplating the infinite itself. We understood that while physical freedom, the absence of outward limitations, is absolutely vital and often hard-won, the true, enduring power resides deep within us, in the quiet, unyielding inner fortress of our mind and spirit. We acknowledge the profound weight of choice and the deep responsibility that comes with our decisions, recognizing that our personal liberty is intricately intertwined with the very fabric of existence and the fundamental freedoms of all others around us. And we touched upon the fascinating, almost paradoxical truth that some of our deepest, most meaningful liberties often emerge not from boundless license, but from consciously choosing to embrace certain constraints and to cultivate deep, authentic connections. So who are you in this vast universe, after all this gentle contemplation? You are a unique and precious being, capable of understanding and embodying freedom in its most profound, multifaceted dimensions. You are, in your very essence, a physical presence, born of stardust from ancient, distant suns. Yet you are endowed with the astonishing, miraculous gift of awareness, a conscious light in the cosmic silence. You are a living story, continuously unfolding through the relentless flow of time, shaped by your choices, your reflections, and the lessons you gracefully embrace. You are a microcosm of the entire cosmos, holding its vastness and its intricate patterns within your very being, a tiny mirror reflecting the universe. You are an active observer, a conscious participant, subtly creating meaning and understanding for the universe itself, allowing it to reflect upon its own existence through your eyes. You are a traveler on a continuous journey of growth and evolution, intimately connected to all life, a vital thread in the grand, living tapestry of existence. And perhaps most profoundly, you are a seeker of ultimate transcendence, striving for an inner peace and a profound sense of unity that stretches beyond the boundaries of the everyday. Your individual existence, however brief it may seem in the immense cosmic timeline, holds immense, immeasurable meaning. You are not merely a passive inhabitant of the universe, simply existing within its confines. You are, instead, an active participant, a conscious co-creator in its ongoing unfolding. Every act of kindness you offer, every moment of self-awareness you cultivate, every choice you make with intention and care sends quiet, beautiful ripples through the fabric of your life and the lives of others, subtly contributing to the universe's own continuous, magnificent story. Your choices, small as they may seem, possess a quiet power, shaping not only your own path, but also gently influencing the grander narrative. The pursuit of freedom, in all its varied forms, from the breaking of visible chains to the quiet liberation of the spirit, is perhaps one of the most defining and noble characteristics of the human spirit. It is a deep, inherent yearning for growth, for truth, for authentic connection, and for liberation from whatever binds us, both the obvious and the unseen. This profound and universal pursuit connects us across cultures, across generations, binding us together in a shared, timeless quest for a life truly and fully lived, for a flourishing that embraces every dimension of our being. As the quiet of the night deepens and the world outside gently prepares for the soft embrace of dawn, let the ideas we've explored gently settle in your mind, like soft dust settling on a quiet landscape. Freedom, we've come to understand, is not something to be taken for granted, not a given right without effort. Instead, it is something precious to be deeply cherished, patiently cultivated, and thoughtfully exercised with wisdom and care. It is both a profound gift bestowed upon us by the very nature of existence and a sacred responsibility, inviting us to be mindful stewards of our own liberty and the liberty of others. And in its deepest, most transcendent sense, it is an inner state of being, a quiet, abiding peace, available to you in every single moment, regardless of the ever-changing, unpredictable external circumstances of life. You are a being of immense potential, a quiet whisper of consciousness in the vast cosmic silence, yet capable of holding the entire universe within your thoughts, within your understanding, within your very spirit. Embrace your freedom. Understand its profound depths, and let it gently guide you towards a life lived with intention, with deep compassion, and with a quiet, ever-present sense of wonder for the beautiful mystery that unfolds around and within you. And so, my dear fellow traveler, we have gently reached the very end of this long, expansive, yet peaceful night of reflection. We have sought to ponder together that grand ancient question: what is freedom? We began by gently exploring freedom from the simple absence of chains, then moved to freedom to the expansive power of choice and opportunity. We confronted the weight of choice, understanding the responsibility and consequences that come with our decisions. We journeyed into the inner fortress, discovering the profound freedom of mind and spirit that transcends external constraints. We navigated the paradox of freedom, realizing that true liberty often thrives within chosen connections and disciplines. And we broadened our gaze to freedom for all, acknowledging our shared human journey towards justice and shared liberation. Finally, we touched upon the final freedom, the transcendence found in meaning, and the boundless inner landscape. Throughout this entire exploration, we have seen that freedom isn't a simple, straightforward concept that can be easily defined or proven in every familiar way. Instead, it is many things all at once. It's the release from burdens, the open door of opportunity, the mindful acceptance of responsibility, the unyielding strength of the spirit, the creative dance within chosen limits, the shared pursuit of justice, and the profound liberation of self-transcendence. And now, as our night of reflection gently concludes, here you are, a little further along your own personal timeline than when we began. But was it only a few moments, or many minutes, or perhaps even a full 3 hours that have passed? Or did the gentle flow of words stretch and shrink, as it often does, when the mind begins to softly settle, drifting into a peaceful space, ready for sleep? So let me ask you once more gently, as I did at the very beginning of our journey. Where in the world are you listening from tonight? And exactly what time is it right now in your own quiet corner of the world? It's rather interesting, isn't it? After all this talk about grand ideals, immense philosophical depths, about your place in society and the universe, we still find comfort and a sense of direction in the familiar numbers on a clock, in the quiet hush of the evening, and in the feeling of gently winding down for rest. If you found any peace in this quiet, expansive exploration, if these reflections on freedom, on your own unique being, brought you a little comfort or helped your mind relax gently, preparing for sweet dreams, I would be ever so grateful if you took a moment to give this video a like. And if you wish to continue exploring the wonders of the human experience and the world in this calm, unhurried way, please consider subscribing and sharing this peaceful space with someone else who might also need a quiet pause in their busy life. Your understanding of freedom in its vastness and depth may be a grand journey, complex, and perhaps even beyond our full comprehension. But right now, here, in this very moment, it is a part of your shared story, part of the thoughts we carry. It is a deeply felt presence in every heartbeat and every breath you take. A quiet reminder of the incredible, vibrant reality we are all a part of. Sleep well, my fellow traveler, wherever and whenever you are.